Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 24 hours of TORA at the Nurburgring. We are about to go live for Stint 8. It's already been a very interesting interesting race, sorry. My name is Kian Butler, and I'm joined today by AMR Nightlock. Nightlock, are you excited?
Oh, the 24 Hours of Nurburgring is one of those classic events that has been around with TORA for a few years now. So it's really interesting to see them bringing it back, because this has always been one of the biggest challenges of the entire TORA calendar, just because of the length and difficulty of the track that everyone is on.
So the Nurburgring, one of the longest tracks in the world, one of the most challenging tracks in the world, and we have the privilege here of sitting through one of the night stints. This will definitely be a challenging endeavor. The word challenging comes up a lot here. We are about to go underway. Here, once we cross underneath this bridge up here, you can just about make it up in the dark here, as the lead car, the LMES car, comes under the bridge, and that is green lights, and away we go.
Yes, you know that some of these drivers have to be nervous coming into this event. Again, just the sheer magnitude of the endeavor that they are undertaking trying to run this. It is an extremely long track. Any mistake towards the front half of the track could absolutely ruin your race. No matter how small it is, any bit of damage, you have to carry that around the track.
Yes, indeed.
So that means you could wind up making the smallest error that completely ruins any opportunity for a good finish in that stint.
Yes, indeed. We saw some crazy shenanigans in the first couple of stints. Mega battles happening from the start of that race, and it only happened once, but we had some very interesting times with the SPX cars, that is your lead class, going up against the trailing class, the SPT class. I am aware that for some reason, right now, the information I've set up on the ticker is not functioning properly. So I will try and rectify that. It's been a bit iffy today so far.
Yes.
But your lead car distance, I believe, is 1,328 feet. Not miles. Sorry. Feet.
Well, we can see here now that all of the cars are starting to get onto the green hell proper, onto the Nordschleife proper. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they manage to handle this section.
Oh, and that Squadius, the Squadius car, they're getting bumped wide and dropping all the way back down to 10th position in class. That would not be the start that Ruthless was looking for. Definitely not ideal. It is really dark.
Yeah, especially sitting on with this game camera, you can get a sense for what these drivers are trying to drive through. This really does just come down to track knowledge. You don't have a lot of light. For me personally, this event has always been one of my bucket list ones, one of the ones that I wanted to drive. Sadly, obviously, I wasn't able to find a drive for this one, but there are possibilities of doing it in future years to come. But this is the kind of challenge that you're coming up against in this, and it makes it not just difficult to drive, but also slightly difficult to try and commentate over, because as commentators, we don't get a lot of information to work with as we're watching this. We really do have to kind of get lucky trying to find everything happening on track quickly and efficiently.
Yes, indeed. On board now is SVR's Fallen. He made a little mistake there through the fast right-hander and ended up a little bit off the track. He's not ended up too far off, but something I'm noticing here is that all the newer cars have a distinct advantage over the Opel Manta. Of course, the newer cars using LED lights in their headlights being brighter. The halogen lights in the Manta, run by the Fuschwanz and the Fuschwanzer teams, SVR and LSEM respectively, running halogen lights a lot dimmer, and that's going to impact maybe their race abilities, mate.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things you really cannot underestimate how difficult it is to try and drive this track, because it's so easy to forget that it's not like going out to a track, say, like Indianapolis, like Daytona, like Sebring, where you have lights on the track side that help illuminate it. There's nothing but the headlights on this track, so it's really easy to get caught out at the last second by something that's coming up on track and not realize it. Unless you have the track memorized almost perfectly, your mini-map is going to be your best friend to try and effectively navigate and keep track of what corner is coming up at you.
Absolutely, as we have a lot of cars going on here. It's really interesting.
Wait, I'm sorry, MRT Elgard off onto the grass, heading off towards the turn just before the carousel winds up getting sideways. That will let Sue get past Raceboy 77 in that Viper. And MRT Elgard is going to fall down to 9th place. The question is, did he pick up any damage from that?
It didn't look like it when I jumped back with him, although I'll leave you to check that. We have Zero Rumble, Soof, who I believe is South, of course, and Raceboy here, up in the front. The Viper is definitely I feel like it's the strongest car in the corners, bar maybe the KDM, which is not in this lobby. Zero Rumble has kind of the best of both worlds in that M6. And then you have Raceboy here in the Audi R8, who has the ability to get past in a straight line. So I think, in terms of the car's ability to battle, the Audi R8s will probably come out on top just because of that straight line advantage they have. But by no means does that count out the handling-based cars up ahead.
I would like to correct you on one thing. You did say M6. That is the M8, I believe. That he is in, that Zero Rumble is currently driving.
Aha, you're wrong. It's the M6. I know this stuff. It is, in fact, the M6. If you look, you can tell the distinctive differences. The first one being that if you go on board with the LMP Esports car, it has the words M6 on the back.
No, I can't. It is just dark. All I see is blackness. Cue the sound of silence to begin playing.
Ripperoni.
And the M badge on the back of that is extremely hard to tell what that says because of the shade of blue on there.
Well,
the reflections of the headlights.
You'll have to take my word for the time being that it is the M6 as Raceboy runs wide onto the run to the back straight. It's going to allow PMC Addy in the M6 to pull past here. This is definitely not what Raceboy wanted, but you can see the difference in straight line speed that the R8 is able to pull out already, and back ahead it goes.
Yes, that Audi R8, it does have tremendous understeer, which is extremely difficult to try and tune out at any given point. But it is so well known for its top-end capabilities. Especially once you start reaching that upper mid area, the acceleration it can continue to pull is something to behold. But Addy goes for a dive to the inside of Raceboy, winds up clipping just the rear right quarter, sending him a little sideways, does not push forward and take the position though. Addy is going to stick behind on that one. Amazing sportsmanship from that BMW driver.
Absolutely not what Addy was looking for there. He wanted to go up the inside. It seems that he had the pace in the corners, like we mentioned with that M6, but Raceboy, by all means, was not expecting that at all, and I can understand why. Not necessarily a traditional braking or outbraking or overtaking zone. You know, it's a heavy braking zone. You're going through a very tight sequence of S's. I don't know, almost, I wouldn't say reckless, but it was ambitious.
That was very ambitious. but also a very good move. Had the other driver noticed it just half a second sooner and not pull quite to apex the way he did, Addy would have been able to get that move off without a single problem. Unfortunately, Race Toy just came in and closed in to apex a little too quick for Addy to be able to get his nose quite where it needs to be for that.
Yep, jumping back to SBT now, on board with VPR Muttley, in the middle of a battle with, we were gonna go on board with Muttley, we are still in the middle of a battle with Floofy, Fallen, and another car ahead, I believe that is, GPR, sorry, I'm going backwards, no, DDM Driftin'. So, Muttley, I'm gonna put you in his shoes here, Nightlock. If you were found in an SVR sandwich, how would you go about it?
That would be a very interesting position to be. SVR is a team that is known for pushing extremely hard and for being willing to get the elbows out a little bit more, to push a bit harder, to go a bit more aggressive. So you need to have a rock solid defense, but still be able to carry the speed against drivers that are known for their ability to set down fast times. So you really are in a lose-lose situation because you're either going to get caught off guard by a sudden last-minute attack from behind, or you're going to go so hard defending you'll slow up the SVR driver behind you, but you're not going to be able to get an attack off on the one in front of you. Personally, if I was in that situation, I think I would put the bigger focus on trying to mirror and ghost the lines and points of the SVR driver in front to stick with them until I find an opening to either force a move or take advantage of a mistake instead of giving so much focus to the driver behind and trying to defend from them. Because then you're opening yourself up to mistakes, and that will see Driftin going off the track, getting loose there. Yeah, that is going to drop him back at least 2 positions, if not 3. Yes, 2 positions there. Unlucky for him, but going back to what I was saying, focusing on that person behind is going to open you up to make mistakes like we saw right there. So I do think that Muttley did catch a bit of a break with Driftin slotting in right there, because it's going to take a bit of the pressure off from him having SVR fall in there.
That may be the case. However, I do kind of think that, and sorry for the interjection, I do think that that might play more to Floofy's hand here. Floofy in the Subaru WRX, a car that is very well capable in the corners, probably would have got bottled up behind that M4, I believe it is, or M2, that the DDM team was running. So Floofy's going to be breathing a sigh of relief there. Muttley now has to work twice as hard to keep up in the corners and then try and maximize in the straights.
Yes, but when it comes down to, would you rather have to work a little harder trying to attack, but have extra weight fall off because you no longer need to wage such a aggressive defense? Or would you rather not have to push quite so hard to try and put down the perfect pace, but be sitting there looking over your shoulder, going into every corner, trying to make sure your defense has no cracks? That's a question that really varies by driver, but personally for me, I'd much rather have to push harder on offense and not worry about how my defense is going to hold to a last-minute attack.
Yep, and I know that, for me at least, I'd rather be in this commentary booth for the time being.
I do feel you there. Sometimes there's no better place to be than up here in the booth watching all this action live on track.
Definitely. Looking around already, it's been a relatively eventful start. A couple of offs from key drivers in both fields, and some separation going on. It seems that we've had a disconnect already, being SVR Foxy, so not the news that they would have been looking for there. to keep our eyes further around the field, we're going to go on board with Zero, who is only, I think, he's only 6/10 of a second behind Diablo now.
I'm just saying, you need to quit stalking me, man. Every time I jump to someone else, you jump to them as well.
On the same page.
Hey, it's the best way to go. But yeah, we can see LSEM Zero here doing his best to chase down LDR Diablo. Zero does have a bit of a straight line advantage, slowly closing up. The question is, can he find a way to get past Diablo? You can really see just how dark this track is, and how difficult of a time it is for these drivers to try and see where they're going. Making a move, launching an attack is not an easy task. It is nothing like running a race in a day. It is a major risk anytime you want to get past another driver if you are not on that back straight, because you could have a turn no more than 50 feet up ahead and sometimes not even realize.
Yeah, but Zero runs a little bit wide there through the carousel. It's going to be a bit unfortunate, but Zero has a better position, I think, than Diablo right now. Diablo is that lead driver. He is the one having to explore the track, make sure that he knows what's going on. Zero can kind of slot him behind for the time being. It's his job now to close that gap that opened up after that little mistake. But if he can, I think that on the straightaways, especially the long back straight, which would be the weakness of the Scirocco versus his Manta, he will be able to capitalize.
Yes, and you are right. Right now there is a bit of an advantageous position for where LSEM Zero is. However, once he does eventually close up on LZR Diablo, if he's capable of it, he's going to lose that advantage, because all of a sudden that ability to watch Diablo and see what he's doing and pick his points off of him will fade away once he gets too close. If Diablo makes a mistake, if he runs wide, if he turns too soon, if he misses a corner, Zero is going to be mimicking that to a T. So if he gets too close but can't find a way past, it may almost be worth letting off and backing off a bit, just so that you aren't running too close to the other person to not be able to make out where you need to go on track.
Yeah, and I was wondering what's happening up in the SPX field right now. They are making their first set of pit stops. I was looking at that, and I was thinking, man, these guys are close. Wait, they're changing positions? What's going on? Just a bit of jostling in the pit box so far, but we have some cars that are still out on field. Let's have a gander around to see what the closest gap is, and it looks like to be PMC, Addy, and SCT-0 Rumble, still the R8 versus the M6. So as we come now through the long hairpin, Addy is going to be trying to mitigate the effects that the M6 can pull on it in corners at this time, and try and really be able to capitalize on that back straight in this Nurburgring GP section. Your race leader for the time being is still SVR Solo, pulling a decent gap over the likes of Blouse and Raceboy. But this battle so far has been the closest on track. Everyone else is kind of spaced out by a couple of seconds now.
Yeah. And I will say, it's very interesting watching how all of these drivers get around the GP section of this track, because anyone who has run this track should know, you never tune for the GP section of the track. You're always tuning the car for the Nordschleife. It is where you're spending a vast majority of the time, and you want to make sure your car is dialed in for there. The problem is, what works for Nordschleife does not work for the GP circuit. They're fundamentally two different tracks. So it's not uncommon to see drivers that may be extremely strong around the ring that begin to struggle quite a bit once they get to the GP section of the track.
Yep, no doubt. I did make a mistake before. They are both in the M6 SCT and PMC. So these two seem very evenly matched in their equipment. In fact, identically matched. Maybe their tunes are slightly different, but it's really going to be a battle of the ability of the drivers between these two cars.
Yes, this does come down to a war of attrition. Who is able to put down the laps without making more mistakes? Who can run with the most consistency? Because in the end, on such a tight, narrow, fast track, that is going to be what makes all the difference. And you can see the drivers pushing the cars to the very edge, finding the grass as they go through and exit the corners, as they weave along the straight, trying to find every last inch of usable pavement to get the car around faster each time. And the winner will ultimately be decided by who can push that limit the hardest without it coming back to bite them in the end. Because doing even one lap of this track effectively is difficult enough. Now trying to do that, say, 10 plus times is going to be even harder. And yes, I know 10 plus times is an understatement. It'll be more probably around 15 plus, but you get my point.
Let's see, lap times in around, let's say, 8.5 minutes. I think you're looking at 8:20. So 8 times 6 is a good old 48, so 480 minutes plus. That's 500 minutes. 500 seconds per lap. And we're going for approximately 100 minutes, which makes it 6,000 seconds. So 60 divided by 5 is 12. So about 12 laps.
Yeah, okay, I forgot that.
Quick math.
I'm sorry, I've been watching a lot of iRacing. Don't judge me.
That's alright. Don't stress.
I claim full innocence there, man.
Absolutely. People in the chat, make sure to let us know if there are any cars that you want to have a gander. Für German, hallo, ich bin Kian Butler und ich bin mit meinem Nightbot heute für diese 24 Stunden von der Nurburgring. So, up ahead we have PMC Addy. Sorry, on board with PMC Addy. Sure. It's not my fault I have German heritage. Alrighty.
No one, so do I. I'm not speaking it.
Hey.
I never went to a school that offered German. It's part of the issue.
I had a school that offered German. It was called my mother.
Yeah, see, when I was in school, they offered French and they offered Spanish. I took Spanish just as a what the hell class, why not? And didn't learn a word of Spanish and tried teaching myself Japanese in this class, so.
Absolutely fair enough. I'm on board now with Raceboy as he closes up behind the Canadian of Blouse. Of course, Blouse hailing from the great northern country, the great white country up north, because it snows a lot. Not
Great,
because
amazing Canada.
Yes, as my cool, as our old Prime Minister in Australia called it. Yep, good job. Yep, Canada. Yep, yep. Brilliant. Yeah, but on board now at Raceboy. We're gonna jump onto the hood camera, I think, just to see what some of these drivers may be experiencing. Others may be running in third person. But really, I mean, I would be running in hood view just because that's what I use on the wheel, and it is. I'm scared just looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, it is so fast-paced when you combine the lighting, or therefore lack of, when it comes to the track. And it's only compounded by right now, Blouse has the absolute advantage over him just due to the car he's running. That BMW is going to handle the corners a lot better than Raceboy's Audi. He needs to hold on until the back straight if he's going to have any chance of trying to take the fight towards Blouse.
Yeah.
And we have someone in the chat. It is Roddy's Games. I do believe that's how it's pronounced. I am sorry if that is not. Saying, afternoon, fellas. I like the look of SVR Galaxy Subaru, but I feel like you can't see a whole lot of it in this light. No, you are absolutely right there. You don't get too much of a look at the cars, which is unfortunate, because a lot of time and effort was put into trying to paint these cars to make them look absolutely gorgeous for the race.
Yeah.
And you can see about how much that effort is paying off currently.
Yep, our team painter, LSU Miko, on our... Oh, sorry, quickly. On board with Race Boy now as he passes Blouse. A crazy... That shows the speed difference. He was about 4 or 5 car lengths behind. And he's ended up 1 or 2 car lengths ahead by the end of the straight. I've got to say, DRS open. That's just the difference between these two cars. The N6, of course, being a GTE car mainly, whereas the R8, of course, is a GTE car. But the version of the game that we have in game is the Audi, the one from the Daytona series, from the IMSA series, GTD. So it is better in a straight line generally, and has a, I think it's more of a low downforce wing setup than the other cars. The R8 and doing R8 things. Yes, that is correct, roadies. So yeah, race boy now.
Yeah.
You were race leader. Did we lose? No, solo pitted. Okay. Oh.
Yes, and technically, due to the funny way that the game calculates the distances in an endurance race, it is still showing Blouse as being the leader of this race form.
Oh, whoa!
Blouse with a massive moment, going deep and hard onto the brakes there, gives a slight touch to the back of Raceboy, going through that left-hander, but not disturbing that R8 too much. Raceboy able to get through the corner without too many issues.
Yeah, most definitely. You see that M6, this is what we were talking about. The M6 is better in the corners than the R8. The R8 is just so much better in the straights. It makes the R8 really a better race car in terms of its ability to defend a position and attack full position. So the M6 of Blouse definitely has its work cut out for it.
However, with that being said, they are now back onto the Nordschleife proper. So Blouse will regain the advantage and he will hold it for a majority of the track. So the question is going to be whether or not he's able to do anything with that advantage he's currently running.
Indeed. Race boy then. One of the turn 10 stock, I believe, had the influence in the Ford RC. Showing that he has the pace, of course, he went to the Milwaukee Sports Series 1 Live Finals, so of course we have the pace. But, interesting story here. Raceboy is Canadian, Blouse is Canadian. Battle of the Canadians, question mark?
Which Canadian person shall reign victorious?
The Mr. Blouse or Mr. Raceboy? It will be Blouse or Mr. Race. And
Race IG.
I think SPT are taking their first set of pit stops now. Still relatively gapped out back in the red classes. Diablo has maintained his 2-second lead over LSM0, and those two seem to be gapping over the third place car of SVR Fluky, I believe, in the SVR Galaxy team. So there it is for Roadies, if you're still with us. The SVR Galaxy, and luckily for you, we come on board with it just as we're going through the GP section. So you get to have at least a little bit more lighting on the car. But it is pretty much pitch black, which makes me think, should we have had lime liveries?
I will say, this is the rather unfortunate part of trying to commentate these endurance races. You kind of run out of things to commentate about.
That's alright. It is no stress. We have plenty of action going on in our minds, so we will be imaginative and hopefully very much say fun things.
As SBR Toru goes trotting around into third place, riding on the back of his unicorn crocodile. Shall he be able to take the lead?
The unicorn crocodile.
Find out in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Where's Toru? I don't see Toru. What are you on about? Crazy, man. It's like rabbit tricks with kids. So Toru. Gotta be looking for the field. What else going crazy? Race Boy now has gapped Blouse then by a couple of seconds.
Yes, he is doing a very good job there, showing the straight line potential within that R8. However, we are most likely going to see Blouse begin to pull that gap in a little bit more as they get back into some of the turns on the track.
Yeah.
However, both drivers are going to need to come in for their first pit stop at some point soon.
Tracks like these, they just make me want to leap with joy. Always great racing. Even if there's no battles going on for the time being, you can just get a sense of how hard these drivers are having to work. And so I'm going to jump on board with the fabled roof cam with Blouse.
I don't know, this kind of just makes me want to take a nap, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you about that one.
That's scary.
There's just something. Oh, as Race Boy goes wide and goes off, that is going to see Blouse get past him on track and leave Race Boy well down the order now, coming in a current net third place.
Yeah, that is that's Race Boy.
I will say,
having issues.
Yeah. SBR Solar currently showing in second, although behind both a Race Boy and Zero Rumble on track. I do not know what's going on, but my current running order is in shambles.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused. Let me hold on. So Race Boy, he's going to be into the pits this lap. He's got 24% of fuel left. Blouse will also then presumably be in this lap. 36% of fuel left, so the car is going to be better on fuel. But Solo, I thought he'd pit, and he had. The Solo then is effectively still your race leader. He had about an 18-second gap, I believe, between him and Race Boy and Blouse. So having pitted already, he's found a nice bit of clean air. Thankfully, the cars ahead of him will be having to pit this lap. And that means that Mr. Solar is still your race leader.
But going on with what I was saying, race really just kind of make me want to take a nap. There is something so calming and relaxing about watching the drive that is coming from this, as we can currently see just the sheer power of that R8 in a straight line, making up substance lost in that one turn on that straight alone.
Indeed, if you are like Nightlock and you are wanting to take a little bit of nap, as we're on board now with Race Boy and Blouse going into the pits. A Shine Fix will fix that. Shine Plus,
yes.
Drink Smart.
It seems as though Race Boy is interested in Blouse, shall we say?
I think we shall, as we're probably going to see Blouse here Go underneath Race Boy. I'm expecting this to be similar to the GT racing incident at Silverstone, sorry, Suzuka, and they are ghosted. Of course, it's just the game being crazy. Race Boy then looking for a move around the outside of Blouse now into the first corner of the GP circuit. Blouse getting very defensive and doing well there. Trying to hold around the outside. Race Boy then, with the better power, is going to look to power blast. Blouse is going to be just enough alongside. Just maintain around the outside. He's looking for it around the outside. Then Blouse just a bit on the dirt, but he's got the inside line now, and he's going to be looking to try and get the run. Race Boy is able to just cover him off well enough.
Yes, again, the power of that R8, anytime they hit a straight, Blouse is going to need to be ahead of Race Boy. On track, he's going to need to have that positional advantage if he is going to have any chance of holding that R8 off.
On board with Blouse then, on the hood view, you can see what he's having to deal with up ahead. This part of the track is fairly well lit relative to the rest of it, but if you're just joining us now, you will find that as we come to the GP section, it is, not the GP section, sorry, the Nordschleife, it's going to be very scheiss for visibility. So, through the chicane now, oh sorry, through the, yeah, no chicane, I had that right, I need to stop downing myself. We're doing well here, we're doing well. We got the two Canadians back to back. They're keeping us entertained. We got guys up the front gapping. Vanquish is trying to hold on to Sola.
If you would like to watch a good battle, SCT0 Rumble trying to find his way around PMC Addy. Just tried to make a move to the inside around turn 1 of the Nordschleife. However, Addy closing up on him. Zero Rumble not able to make the move stick, and is gonna lose a little bit of distance to Addy. However, both drivers fighting extremely hard, so at this point it may be worth going back to the previous battle and watching. Wow, I forgot the names.
Blouse and Race Boy.
I am on top of it.
These guys are coming
on top of it tonight.
Indeed. Blouse, he's got the pace to go around. Super schnell. And Mr. Race Boy is got the straight line speed. So. It's gonna be up to Blouse. I think Blouse is gonna have to be a bit aggressive as he looks through the kink there. Oh, closed it right up. He's a little bit of a bump there, but nothing going to materialize for Blouse there. The Canadian driver, in his brother in nationality, his foe on the field today, Race Boy up ahead.
Yes, Blouse, we can see really starting to close up and really starting to squeeze and try and pressure Race Boy. However, Race Boy is no longer cracking. He is holding strong, really pushing that Audi for everything that it is worth. The question is, which one of the two is going to come out on top in this? And that is what I cannot wait to see, because both of these drivers are doing an amazing job of navigating this track, even in these harsh, difficult conditions.
Yes, indeed. We have very spread out gaps so far. It looks like nothing's really changed in the SPT class for the time being. This is probably your closest battle on track for the time being. Blouse versus Race Boy. Inertia Garage versus the Forza RC itself. You gotta put props to the guys behind the Forza RC to not only put together a competition that is so well loved, but also managed to put in a very good showing in this race today so far. That is very impressive.
Yes, and it's also very impressive to see what all of these teams are capable of getting prepared for this event. All the drivers coming out and racing on it. Just again, I know we've said it a lot and we will continue to say a lot, but the sheer difficulty of this track. I mean, this is a track that I know extremely well by heart. That I do not need any kind of hints, clues to get around it. That is kind of second nature for me. And even personally, I have a lot of issues telling what direction this road is going at any given point. It's hard to tell in these cameras whether or not the ground is sloping up, sloping down, whether it's extremely on camber or off camber, how tight any given turn is. These little details, even with the most track knowledge you thought you could ever need, just get lost up in the complete sea of darkness. And this is being made very apparent by watching some of these drivers try and take the carousel. A challenging, but at the same time extremely simple turn that once you get it the first time is so easy to consistently crank out time and time again. We're seeing drivers consistently messing it up, going in too tight, going in too fast, getting spit out the other side, overshooting the beginning. And that is a perfect showing of just how much more difficult it becomes to navigate once the light levels get turned down on the track.
Indeed, I'm on board now with SCT0 Rumble. He's closed the gap back up to about half a second, 3/10 now to PMC Addy up ahead. So he is going to be looking for an opportunity. You can see just around the corner there is the battle we've been talking about so much as well, with two Canadian drivers, Blouse and Raceboy, up ahead. So we got the Zero Rumble from SCT. We have foliage obscuring our screen because it's nighttime and it looks like graphics glitches. Addy from Poland up ahead. These gaps, they're not going anywhere, it seems.
Yeah, all of these drivers are doing an amazing job at holding on to the person in front, and I can't really blame them for that. Under these conditions, that car in front of you is going to be the only source of guidance and of light that you have in the entire event. So if you lose that, you really are losing the one guiding factor, the one reassurance you have trying to get around this track. So it really is kind of on the chasing drivers to try and keep that lead car in their sights as close as possible to try and keep an advantage.
Imagine losing your headlights. That would be horrible. That would not be what they were looking for at all.
Yeah, at that point you would be driving just off of mini-map and track knowledge, and I can tell you from personal experience, that is not a good combo around here.
Absolutely not! Cheeky stretch.
Luckily, Forza did implement where on night races, if you pit, it does repair your head, but that does leave you taking an extra pit if you find both of your lights knocked out at any given point.
I'll tell you the first thing I'd be doing if I was a driver doing this, I would be turning on my track limits, because it's very nice to have a very bright set of neon lines either side telling you exactly what part of the track you're on. So we see, who's out in the pits? Vanquish taking his second pit stop now, I believe. So we're getting there.
I am currently going through the field just to see if any of the drivers have pulled a numpty moment and lost one of their headlights yet.
Oh, that would not be good at all. That would be very disadvantageous. In fact, I would call it preposterously bad for the individual who had such a occurrence. Cool. Nice little bit of readjusting there. You can hear the chair squeaking as I lean back and stretch my legs. PNC Audi up ahead. SCT0 Rumble, we're on board with now. Yeah, good race so far. And you know what I'm looking forward to though, if you watch Stint 1. I'm looking forward to when those SPT and SPX cars cross over with each other. In fact, I'm going to go on board with 0 for the time being, just because we haven't shown a lot of love to the SPT cars, and you can really tell just how much harder it is to drive these Opel Mantas at nighttime, or any other cars that are older, because the headlight technology was just not as advanced. And if we go to Diablo, he's got some very nice. They're not that bright actually, but I think Floofy might be a better example. Floofy has some very nice LED lights in the front. You get a decent idea of what's going on. On Motor Zero, it's hard. It's a hard knock life for him because you can't see that much, even though it has about 4 headlights in the front.
Sometimes less is more though. I would take 2 good lights over 4 bad lights.
Well, unfortunately for the Mantis, it seems like they have 2 bad lights, so big sad.
Yes, they are at a double disadvantage. That is what we call a lose-lose situation.
Indeed. The gap between...
If you would like a perfect example of the embodiment of what that situation is like to drive the Opel Manta, go onto your phone if you have an iPhone and ask Siri what 0 divided by 0 is. You will find out very quickly just what that situation is like.
Hold on. Here we go. Hey Siri, what's 0 divided by 0?
Imagine that you have 0 cookies and you split them evenly among 0 friends. How many cookies does each person get? See, it doesn't make sense. And Cookie Monster is sad that there are no cookies. And you are sad because you have no friends.
And with that, we can see Siri has no chill and is out for blood with these absolute savage remarks towards our head commentator there.
Absolutely disappointing.
Now you all know what it is like to be driving that Opel Manta around this track at night.
Oh, we have a thing. SVR Fallen versus GPR Sorrentino. Words. We're gonna have a look.
That
it looks
guy.
like Sorrentino has pitted. Fallen. Sorry, Sorrentino hasn't. Fallen hasn't either. So maybe Fallen has fallen off the track. But either way, we're going to get a good battle now between Turismo and Fallen. Fallen, of course, in the Opel Manta for the Fuschwanz team. Meanwhile, Zero is in the Opel Manta for the Fuschwanzer team. Fuschwanz has 1 tail, Fuschwanzer has 2.
All I know is I caught about every other syllable of that, and that is a...
Fair enough. Alrighty then, so we have GPS Turismo just behind SVR Fallen. These guys, I've literally just switched to Drifting because it was an accident. These guys battling out at the back of the SPT field. We've had a lot of... it looks like Sorrentino is pitting this lap. So maybe they were on off pit cycles. A little bit disappointed with that one. But when in doubt, Zero rumble it out. These two are still very close together.
And this should give you an idea of how insanely long this track is. Normally by this point in a race, we would be going on to our, finishing up our first cycle, moving on to the second cycle of class overlap. Of the upper class cars starting to catch back up to the lower class. But in this case, even the lead upper class car is still half a lap off of the back of the pack lower class driver.
You know what? You know what I'm sad about? I'm sad.
That you have no friends?
Oh. Shut up.
There said it. Not me. I'm just saying.
I'm quite disappointed that I don't know. I've oh yeah, I remember now. I'm disappointed that we don't have any tech. Where is the TORA Endurance Championship?
I know that was absent this year, which was a very interesting omission from the calendar.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm pretty sure that people were saying the same thing back, I believe it was going into either 2015 or 2016 when the Le Mans 24 was dropped from the calendar as well. There was also no ASCC this year, so it's not uncommon to see TORA shuffle around what series they run every single year. They keep the few staples, and then they'll play around with any other series they may want to run. So we could very easily see Tech make a return next year in favor of dropping something else like GT300 or Mighty Mites, depending on how interest pans out.
Yeah.
I personally hope that Tech will make a return because that's always a very fun, very competitive series to either race or watch.
I don't know, man. I'm sitting here like, man, just like give me some LMP1s. Please. Just I want my prototypes. Please.
Have you been prototype deprived this season at TORA?
I have been. I only did the 24 hours of Le Mans and the tournament, the Daytona 24 and the 787, and those were fun. But I only got 2 chances to drive a prototype, and there's not even any Le Mans esports this year. I'm sitting here like, yeah, I want some prototypes, please.
Yes, that 787B a very, very good car. An absolute classic to try and drive.
Yeah.
I do want to apologize to all the viewers. It may seem like we're off topic and like we're just kind of ignoring things, but there's legitimately not too much to talk about with just repeating the same things that have been said time and time again. And unlike with the real life endurance counterparts to these events, there's not enough cautions to slow everything down and regroup up the pack to keep up that constant fighting that really gives you good commentary.
Yeah. Well,
So
we're on board. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're on board with. I'm just gonna finish what I'm saying. I'm on board with Vanquish.
And what was the conversation we had right before last time we
I
started
thought you
talking
were
over
done.
each other?
I thought you were done. I thought you were done.
And so what happens? We keep talking over
I
each
thought you were done. Ich will nur Deutsch sprechen jetzt. Ich will nur Deutsch. Du kannst es nicht verstehen. Du bist ein Schlüssel.
That almost sounded Russian for a second.
Ja, ich bin nicht Deutsch. Das ist okay. So, dann, wir kommen jetzt durch den Strecke vom Nurburgring und wir haben jetzt Vanquish kommt zum Zero Move durch die Ecke und ja, das geht ganz schnell. Den R8 und vorwärts da ist ich glaube ein M6 von BMW und ja, das wird ein bisschen ich glaube Vanquish ist ein bisschen schneller, aber ich glaube, dass ein M6 sollte hier okay sein. And back to your English. Yeah.
Guys, I would like to apologize to all of the people currently watching the stream. It appears as though I have broken the butler and made him go full German. You never go full German.
And to all our German viewers out there, yeah, sehr gut. So, Yeah. Got Vanquish behind Rumble. Got a warm laptop on my lap that is putting me to sleep because it is really increased my blood temperature to the point where it's making me a little tired. And Vanquish
I
is
swear
getting ready to
to God,
launch.
don't fall asleep on me again, boy.
Don't worry, my man. Look what we got. We got Vanquish up in Zero Rumble, and we got Sola and Race Boy. Sola's just got past Race Boy, so he is taking a full pit stop out of Race Boy now. The LMES car ahead of the Forza RC car. Cool. Okay. Don't accept my perfectly excused handoff. On board now with Vanquish.
I literally just got on board with Splur right after you said that. I haven't picked up anything to say yet. It's R8 versus R8. Two fast drivers. I really don't have anything beyond that.
Cool. Well, get your butt back on Vanquish now, because he's right on the butt of the Zero Rumble in the R8 versus the M6, and he's thinking, where is my straightaway? I would like to go faster than this boy.
Yeah, it would appear that there is just enough straight line area on this track for the R8 to mitigate any advantage that may be coming to those M6s.
Also,
It's a very interesting situation overall. Because a track like this, you traditionally would think would be a handling track with how long and curvy it is.
oh,
But, oh, and a very, very close shave and brave move there by Vanquish to get around Zero Rumble on the right side there. Absolutely amazing racing coming from the US driver. This is what we come to these events to be able to do. What is will you be able to hold it or close the track under the pressure as we've seen so many others do?
I don't know, man. I'm sitting here thinking if I was Vanquish, I'd want to get right back behind Zero Rumble. He only has one headlight.
Poor Vanquish.
Oh man, look at that. I can see the right side of the track perfectly. Left side of the track, not so much.
Oh, poor Vanquish. Zip tie of flashlight in the front of the car.
Yep, I would probably actually like have a flashlight on my car, and then strap it on the roof if something like that happened to me. Vanquish now is closing the gap up ahead to Race Boy then, and gapping Zero Rumble. So that was interesting. And now we go back to your pre-planned quietness in the field.
Pretty much.
Man. Oh, this laptop is like the perfect temperature to warm me up. And it's getting annoying because I don't want to take it off my lap, but I also do not want to become like... You know that feeling you get when you have a heated blanket over you?
I'm doing like the audible version of reading lips and just trying to piece together what you're saying.
Do you know what it's like to have a heated blanket on you?
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, I've decided to take my laptop off of my lap because that was the effect it was having on me. So then, too wide down the back straight, Vanquish is looking to re-solidify his position of SCP Zero Rumble. Zero Rumble then makes his way behind Vanquish. That M6 does not have the legs to keep up. Yum. Yum. Nyum. 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 I am now the Formula 1 guy that did nyums all day. So we're about, let's say about an hour into the race now. And I am just waiting for those SPT guys to get close together again. We do have one relatively close group. Again, that is GPR Turismo and SVR Fallen. So we're gonna go on board with Turismo. Oh, sorry, not Turismo. Saraceno for the time being, and just watch him as he tries to catch up to SVR Fallen. Now that, so all right, it looks like for whatever reason Nightlock has disappeared. So then, it's just me and the group of cars up ahead. What are we thinking, fellas? Anybody in the chat willing to spread some interest? Anybody want me to go on board with somebody? This is now a two-man stream. Me and the audience. Alright, so the gap between Addy and Blouse now. Just about 1 second. We're out the field. There's definitely a decent amount of separation going on right now. There's about a third to a quarter of the track left before we see the likes of the SPX cars colliding with the SPT cars. So that would be something to look forward to. been interesting. Nice background music. Thanks, roadies. Just trying to pass the time a little bit. Not really sure where to go around right now. These drivers they're doing pretty well. We haven't seen that many major mistakes, other than a couple of scruffs at the start. One disconnect so far, SVR Foxy. So, ultimately, definitely something to bear in mind, that these drivers have run very clean races so far. We're going to try and reset our distance, so bear with me. Let's see if we can get the updated race distance. No, and it's actually put that out of whack a little bit, so that's fun. Yeah. Let's fix this. Why does it change every time? That is the real question. As we have blouse then. We do have blouse then. Where's the mark? Go back to 550, 552. Yep, there we go. Cool, we fixed that. Alright, so we have PMC Addy just behind Blouse. We have 17 cars. The rear of SPT is looking relatively close right now. About a 3-second gap. Closest gap in SPT. Next closest is Floofy and Motley, or at least it was. Where is Addy at? Oh, I went the wrong way. Did something happen to Addy there? Oh, Blouse rather. He well, he was ahead of Addy, and he seems to have fallen back. So, I'm not sure what happened there to the Canadian driver. Let's see if we can find a neat little battle somewhere. Race point still are only 1.3 seconds apart now. And that seems to be the closest gap. Race point then in the pits. Looks like we're gonna get. This could be our last round of pits for SPT, but I'm not. Oh, sorry, SPX, but I'm not too sure. Soon. Solar is now just about halfway through the GP sector of the circuit. And the SPTs are just coming into the Nordschleife. So getting close to that fatal cross at the point where the race takes a swing for the insane. In the holler, the grüne holler, the cars roar tonight. In the holler, the grüne holler, the lion cars stuff. In the corner, the sweeping corner, the M6 rules supreme. In the corner, the sweeping corner, the M6 rules supreme. On the charts, the leader charts, Zola takes the lead. In the charts, the leader charts, Zola takes the lead. Through the corners, the slower corners, the Viper closes in. Through the corners, the slower corners, the Viper closes in. In the comments, the cheeky comments, Roadies makes a quip. In the comments, the cheeky comments, Roadies makes a quip. Yeah. When in doubt, sing it out. We're kind of in that stage of the race where nothing was really happening, and I agree with Rhodey. We need to make an N24 the musical, or if we were to follow Disney's footprints, N24 the musical, the movie, the album. Yeah. So, only a couple corners now behind are the SPX leaders from the SPT trailers. And Annie, Blast, and Rumble still relatively close together. Yeah. Definitely good so far. I'm looking forward to these cars mixing, matching. I am, however, going to take a quick 30-second to a minute break just to get myself something to sip on. So I will be back in a few. Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Hang at 10. So, if I'm not mistaken, we got an SPT car that is right in the line of fire for the SPX cars. Or at least somewhat in around there. Yep, here we go. We have Vanquish coming up behind SVR Fallen now. Definitely not going to be munching away on some liverwurst. Lovely German delicacy. Because we have Vanquish now making his way past SVR Fallen. Munch. Alright. Let's have a gander around. We have Fallen. I think we're gonna... I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like I want to stay on board with him as we get some SPX cars coming by, but... I don't know, it really only looks like it's third place right now in SPX. Well, I think it's Race Boy. Let's see. Rumble. What's up, Race Boy? Take his pits. Gander around, see what's happening. That's relatively interesting. We got Blouse still behind Audi. Audi. So we're gonna go on board with him as I've lost my day out. You guys have never tried it liverwurst, so it was absolutely great. It seems fitting to be having a German food during a German race. Anybody else eating anything right now? We're in the chat. We're in the question in the chat. But I don't know everything. Cut food. Eating during a stream. I have to say, you have to do a lot of things before you can use the liverwurst is not the best. Like, this stuff is amazing. It's so long. Hi guys. Sorry, quick message. C-Lobby is faster than A-Lobby at the moment. If you want to watch, go to Buck Tide's channel. He's not far away from the school yet. Thanks for that impulse. Yeah, go check out C-Lobby if you like. We're currently running two for A-Lobby. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't like to have a commentator, but the one that I had kind of decided that he wanted to go and break his internet. So, big heckin' yum. Alright. We're gonna hop and roll our race later. For as you can tell, he will soon be coming up to some SPT traffic. I think we have about 10 minutes left at this point. Should be relatively close to finish. I'm not gonna lie, Roadies, I'm kind of low-key interested now in, well, I gotta go, singing stuff. We're on board with Race Boy, who, oh no. Oh no, what's happened to Race Boy? It's better, oh my word. He has no headlights. He has no, let's see if that changes if we change away and back. Damn, that's not good. If you wanna see just how dark, I don't know if this is from his perspective, if it is like that, but I'm gonna go on board with him to see just how dark it really is. Yep, so notice how you can't see anything? Yeah, we're on a hood camera right now. Huh, alright. Let's go back to Addy and Blouse. Actually, no, Sola. Sola is going stuck into the pits. But so are all the other SPT cars. So that's then Sam, Sola, leader of Solar Vision Racing, into the pits. Look at all these SPT cars around him. He's gonna have a lot of fun making his way through them. I gotta say, it's a lot more fun making your way through the pack than it is not making your way through the pack. It's a lot more fun to be in a situation as a higher tiered, in the higher classes are the words I'm looking for. You see Vanquish coming up behind now. I think Sola still has a full pit stop extension over him. So he is absolutely just hammering this R8 down. Go on board with Vanquish then, just behind Sola. Through the GP section of the track here. And up ahead you can make out the headlights of the SPT cars. And we have on the other side of this hairpin here. Haven't had much opportunity to show off the SPT cars today. This would be their reprieve. Looks like I had Solar sniffs the first of the SPT cars. I'll be looking for a move. I believe that is VPR Muttley. It is indeed. So Solar then looking for a way past this will give Vanquish a chance to close the gap a little bit. As you can see through that corner alone, 5/10 of a second taken out of Solar. And hopefully Vanquish here will be able to get past before the hairpin he does, or at least into the braking zone, he gets past. And that's him right up the back of Solar now. And is he disconnected? Did we lose somebody? No, everyone's still here, thankfully. That's good news. So with Vanquish now, as he makes his way up to the back of Solar, 1.2 seconds separate first and second position at this time. I don't know. I think he has made his last pit stop. I think he will have made it about a lap before Solar. So Vanquish and Solar then really pushing hard now. And up ahead, we got 12th position. That will be SVR Floopy. These two to try and navigate. You can see the time that Solar is just losing behind Floopy. But up in a straight now, he's going to get past. Vanquish is going to look for an opportunity through this braking zone. He's got to be careful though, up the inside through the quick sweeper. That was a very nice move there from Vanquish. Let's see if we can have another look at that over in our replays. So as you can see here, we had the two drivers going back to back up through the hill and up the inside would go Vanquish. Very good move there from the former ESV driver. Having a look around now, let's see who else is making their way through these channels. It's going to be South, or Soof. Looking a little bit isolated there. He's kind of in that mid-ground between the pack with Raceboy and Bat and the top two. That does, however, mean that he'll be coming out to these SPT cars soon. And I'm wondering who we got up ahead. So they will have just passed 0 then, if is the case. So going back to Soof then. Through the fast left-hander he goes into the braking zone, and he should be able to, in a few moments, see the tail lights of an SPT car. And I think I'm going to go on hood view for this one. You can see that South is also running with only one headlight, so he's definitely compromised in that respect. Let's see, rounds the corner, and we should any moment now see the tail lights of that SPT car, and there it is. There it is, that is 13th position VPR Muttley. Through to the left-hander, then comes Soof. And the legs on that Audi R8, oh sorry, the Viper, it is in fact, should be able to close that gap to the Mustang relatively easily. And with the handling that that Viper has, we should be looking at easy cars. And there he goes. Back to Raceboy now, who is holding the tail of an SPT car. A couple of corners behind now. Just the lens of the straight, really, you cannot see anything when you're on board with Raceboy. It is unfathomably dark. So I'm going with 0 rumble then. Hopefully he has some headlights, and he does. He has both. This is an advantage. Here comes 0 rumble. Final moments in this race, I believe. Not too much longer to go. Rumble one. A fair distance behind Raceboy, 5 seconds or so. Raceboy will have most likely crossed the SPT car he's doing it now. Both him and Drifton have absolutely 0. Lights. You're looking at these guys, you're seeing a name tag. And that's about it. Now, I don't know about you, but that's kind of... Anyway, back to the Rumble. We're gonna go. As he looks to make his way past the SCT car of the EDM drifting. And too wide, easy peasy, one squeezy. All good. And looking around, what else we got going on? Seems to be very well spaced out between drivers for the time being. About a second between Blouse and Addy still. So on board with Blouse we go. I think he's going to be coming up to the pack of SPT cars soon, and I believe I'm correct in that go. see up ahead, Audi was just made past the SBT class car, and now it's going to be Gloucester's turn of asking. And he's easy on the back straight, he goes. Anything more challenging going on? Let's see at the front. Oh, Sola and Vanquish separated by only half a second. So Vanquish has reeled that gap in through the pack of SBT cars, and he's working hard for it now. He's making Sola work just as hard as well. Difference in the two cars. Solar is almost content where he is. He's thinking, look, I'm not going to jeopardize my rules because I have to outpush you. I'm going to sit here and I am going to drive what feels possible. Meanwhile, Vanquish is thinking, oh, I need to get myself as close to Solar as possible and get the opportunity I need to get past. And he is utilizing absolutely all the curbing to do that right now. Ultimately, though, I suspect it's not going to be enough. The race should be ending very soon now. I think they're already about 15 minutes behind. We've just clocked over the 3 p.m. Australian Western time, which means it is just about 2 a.m. now in American Eastern Standard Time. Half second apart. We're gonna go back to an SPC 5 in pits. I don't think so. No. Alright, we're gonna go back to Klaus. I think I may have missed the majority of the beginning of the pack, unfortunately. However, up ahead we have a couple of closely packed SPT cars. Now, if Stint 1 was to teach us anything, it was that these passing opportunities these SPX cars have to create to get past the SPTs really make it tough. Up ahead. Through the start of the Nurburgring section, Addy has been bottled up behind from the SPT cars. He's going to be looking for a way past desperately, as you can just see the distance dropping down to about 1.5 seconds now. They've gone too wide through there, Mudley and Addy has made a pass. Lost about a second in doing so though, and it looks like Blouse is going to have the opportunity up here to get past Mudley. He's going to back off, deciding that it's not worth the risk at this point. Mudley really is sticking to the line. Exactly what he needs to be doing here. It was mere moments ago. Blouse is coming through the sweeper now. He's lost sight of Addy. Unfortunately. But up ahead is SBR Floofy. Floofy then is going to be pushing hard. Here comes Blouse. Pass the SBR Galaxy car. That Subaru is definitely maximizing itself in the corners. And Blouse has found himself in a bad second of track to try and pass. So that is going to be Blouse really trying to find an opportunity, and there we go, as we open back up in the straights. Looks like most of the cars are coming past at this point. Back up to Vanquish and Solar we go. These two have been neck and neck for the last couple laps. Vanquish has kind of burst the pace in the closing stages of this race. On some different pit rotations. However, these cars have managed to staying close together. Both in the R8s. One for the O60, the other one for the SBI on the S squad. Showing exactly what they made it. Vanquish then. Falling a little bit back to solo now. That's not what he would have wanted. Luffy only a few seconds ahead of Muttley now. Looking for some SPX cars as the pass. And I think that'll go with all that, even though he's relatively alone, just because he's going to be executing some passes. And that looks like the end of the stint there. So, your stint order then is going to be, first place, SVR Solar, second place, Vanquish, third place, Sooth, the Milkman, fourth, Raceboy77, fifth, SCT Zero Rumble, sixth, PMC Addy, seventh, Blouse, eighth, MRT Elgard, ninth, Squadios Ruthless, and in first place for the SVT cars, we have Lazarus Diablo, LCM Zero, SVR Floofy, VPR Muttley, DDM Driftin, SVR Fallen, GPO Sorosimo, and last place, SVR Foxy, having disconnected towards the start of the race. So then, this has been stint 8 of the Online Racing Association's Nurburgring 24 Hours, or 24 Stunden von den Grünen Holle. I've been Kian Butler, your host. I will return for, I believe, stint 10 and 12. So, yeah. I was joined by Nightlock. I am not any longer, but I will see you guys back in about 4 hours or so. Thank you so much for watching, and light speed now.